The less you think, the higher your vibration will be. You see that? Not thinking. Why? Because it leads you to this very present moment. Thinking is a route to suffering, because maybe 90% of your thinking could be negative. Why? Because mainly it's a survival mechanism. Like, imagine if you're up on an airplane, you're about to go skydiving. The more you think about it, right? This is maybe like your first time. The more you think about it, the chances of you jumping are probably a lot less, right? Now you take someone who's a seasoned skydiver, and well, what do you think's happening there? Ha! Gotcha. Got you. Exactly. They're not even thinking about it. They just do, right? So being in alignment to the very present moments allows the natural flow of your divine energy to flow through. That's right. So, join me, Ventzi, with a coffee, your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. Let's get it. What is the solution to this? So we can be in that constant order of flow, which is the natural point of life. Because guess what? Miracles are not an exception. Miracles aren't this grandiose thing. Miracles are the natural order of life, if you will allow them to be. Your thoughts and thinking and lowering your vibration, adding resistant thoughts into your prompt, like an AI prompt that's going to create an art piece, and you put that you're sad, depressed, all men and women suck into the prompt, it's going to spit out an image of your reality with all the resistant thoughts that you have in there. So it's about letting go of those resistant thoughts, because miracles are the natural order of life. That's what synchronicity is. When you're in vibrational alignment with who you really are, which is that creator energy, source God creator, guy with lobsters coming out of his ears in the sky, whatever is in alignment for you to believe in a higher power. You are still connected to that higher power because you were created from all that is. You're a part of it. So, welcome. See, now I kind of was thinking, just in that moment, I was like, wait, where am I going with this? What was the next thing that's on my mind that I wanted to express? Oh yeah, it was the solution. See, sometimes when you just allow things and to flow naturally, you kind of just stumble into it. Because I could have sat there and I could edit this part out thinking, oh, perfectionism is going to get in my way. Or if I do edit that part out, it's because I let my ego take over. No, your video's got to be perfect. It's got to be the best video ever. You can't have any mistakes. Yeah, freaking right. What kind of example would that be showing for you not to take any action just because you made a mistake? Maybe because you don't know how to edit videos yet, that you have to have a perfectly flowing video. Like, no, I'm here to empower you. So guess what's going to stop you from ever even taking a journey of something that you want to do? It's your thinking, your thoughts. Why maybe you're not good enough. Imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? It's you feeling like an imposter. Oh, who am I to be talking about this stuff? Well, guess what? You've had life experience, right? You have some knowledge that you want to share. You're comparing yourself to other people who are way further along on their journey than you are, because it's either day one or someday, baby. So, what is the solution? I know I've been rambling. It's setting boundaries. And if you see my boundary bunny video, I really love that one. I think it's like 2 or 3 videos before this one. Like behind, like you have to go backwards. Anyway, not just learning like how to set boundaries with people, it's learning how to set boundaries with your thoughts. Because as you step into becoming a deliberate, conscious creator in your world, as you start being exposed to what's possible for creation and manifestation and knowing how to instantly manifest things in your physical reality, well, you also become more deliberate with your thoughts. Because as you step into more light casts more shadows, and you're going to see more contrast in your life. And it's you being deliberate to not feed into it and give the darkness or the things you don't prefer any power. Because if you give them power and too much thinking, guess where your energy is going into? Guess where you're paying your attention into? And guess what you're going to buy into your reality? Because if you pay for it, here's my attention manifestation store. And then it's going to be like, all right, here you go. You just bought this into your reality. Let me just manifest it for you. So where you pay your attention to is where you're buying into your reality, right? It's what you're putting in your AI generation art piece prompt. Okay? So, setting boundaries with your thoughts. Think about that for a second. I mean, sometimes you're gonna probably do some thinking, right? And once you learn something, you're like, oh, you make a connection. Like, how can I implement this, right? So, setting boundaries with your thoughts, with yourself, knowing that you don't prefer this thought or this way of thinking, and also realizing when you do place a boundary, it's like, hey, we've experienced this thought. It's not in my preference. It's not in alignment with me and knowing who I really am. So, and this is part of my old ego persona. So we already had that ego death. We're going to not allow it to take over. And egos aren't a bad thing. You're always going to have an ego. Like it's a version of you that you are in your current state. And your past egos are, usually filled with fear, things that you've walked around in your lifetime with like this little basket since you were born, and you were like, oh yeah, I learned this from my parents, bad relationship, fear of death, all these things. And then once you start waking up to who you really are and your true aligned power, your conscious creator source energy power, which, by the way, we're all having this individual human experience. We're all fragments of source. I've made plenty of videos on that. You go through your basket and you start realizing, man, why do I have this fear of death? Out the basket. Anything is possible. Like, a lot of the times when people have near-death experiences, they typically actually die in that parallel reality. When that happens, is you actually have a choice. Do you want to continue your life if you haven't experienced all the things you wanted to experience, or are you done? And maybe do you want to reincarnate as a new being? So a lot of times you get that choice and you decide, well, I'm just going to shift to a parallel reality where it's just slightly different and I live. And I've had, I think three like pretty, I think a fourth one recently, which was super. I'm still trying to like figure that one out. Except like I don't want to talk about it yet. It was pretty recent and very similar to another one that I had like 6-7 years ago. And either way though, you just kind of come back from it and everything just feels normal. Like it just kind of, and one of them where I did like, I started seeing this like white light and everything, and I heard this like kind of angelic voice saying like it's not your time. And like I felt like I just went right back into my body. And then when I woke up, everything was like there was a slightly different thing happening in my physical reality, which didn't really make very much sense, except I literally looked like I shifted parallel realities. So point is, nothing to fear. Fear of death, like out the window. Yeah, you're still gonna fear it, right? Except realizing that you're powerful and an eternal spiritual being, you can probably just kind of let go of that. That one takes, as much time as you would prefer to let go of. Okay? So, all these other things, right? You think like you got to do this healing journey and heal parts of yourself from toxic relationships. All you got to do is just add awareness. Because adding awareness to a habit or a pain is the end of the habit. Choosing to continue to keep buying into it in the sadness and the pain rather than showing a gratitude for the contrast, because now you know what you want in your reality and what you prefer and know how you deserve to be loved. And maybe you attracted a narcissist or a covert narcissist because there was the best thing you can have gratitude for is learning how to set boundaries. You feel me on this? Set boundaries. And I attracted an ex who was very controlling from my past parent patterns of my abusive dad, right? And it felt familiar to that familial energy because that's what felt comfortable for me. So I learned how to set boundaries after that relationship. And it was still a journey and a process. A couple more people coming into my life to reflect it to me. And when I did start setting boundaries, because I learned how to, those newer people dissolved very quickly because they weren't in alignment with the real version of me and what I prefer. And I had no attachment, right? I had no attachment to the relationship. It's like, I'm good with or without you. That's the real key to even confidence, is like knowing that, are you okay on your own without this person? Like, you got, like, if you want love in your life, you got to be okay with being alone. Like, so what if it happens or it doesn't? But the more you're attached to love, the more you're going to fall into the possibility of getting comfortable in a toxic relationship because of your attachment of, oh, I want to get married so bad and I want to show everybody and post wedding pictures of my ring bling bling. And it's like you literally will fall into a relationship that could be toxic, and you get married just because you want to fulfill that attachment, that payout that you've been longing and yearning for. I'm not saying you don't deserve to have that. You deserve to have it in the most loving and peaceful way. And part of doing that inner work is you start to realize, man, this video has gone into a whole nother level. I hope you're enjoying this. Flow sessions, baby. It's always right when I get in the flow, I'm just like, oh yeah, let's go. I'm making a video earlier, so I'm not as tired, which is freaking great. However, it's like you're getting that payout and attachment to something, and you're willing to get into a toxic relationship. And sometimes people will know their relationship is toxic, yet they stay in it because there's an attachment or a fear or a thought like, oh, it's been too long. It's all these resistant thoughts because everything that you want is on the other side of that fear of the unknown, of the things that you have in your basket or in your prompt that you've created for yourself of why you can't leave this relationship, of why you need this, of why you need to get married, why you need to settle for less because you'll never find someone else again. Oh, that's a fear. You're doing all this thinking. Do you get my point? It's all these negative thoughts that'll stop you about 100% of the time. If you allow them. And if you don't allow them, then 100% of the time, you're able to keep moving. So, setting boundaries with your thoughts is so very important because as you reach this higher level of consciousness, higher consciousness, that could have worked too. Yeah. Yeah. The more you will get to be deliberate. And once you realize that and you can be in the present moment, you'll be able to enjoy life and have way more fun with it. So, set boundaries with your thoughts, stay in alignment, and let go of the things that don't serve you. Add awareness to them. And if you continue to keep choosing to do them, then it's a choice. Like, you don't, like I said, you don't need to do all this healing. Once you add awareness to a habit or thing that you don't like, people think like they're, and I used to believe this too, that you need to go down this huge road of healing and keep watching a million videos on YouTube and seeking all sorts of things out. Like, you don't necessarily need that. Only if you feel called to it, or if you still believe there's a purpose it's serving you. For me, I did it for a long period of time and watched, Abraham Hicks videos for like 2-3 years every single morning. And I would do it because I wanted more alignment, and through it, I learned law of attraction is all about self-mastery. The more you're able to actually be present, loving, like literally all the stuff I'm speaking about is law of attraction. It's self-mastery. Like once you get to that point, you can actually start to make it physical. And just accept where you are in the present moment. Just keep going in a loving, joyful, pleasant way. So watching all the Abraham Hicks videos not only showed me how the law of attraction works, it also put me on a healing journey. And through all the other videos I watched, I'm able to keep expressing more of this. I watch a lot of Bashar channelings, some Dolores Cannon, and even Bashar mentions it. Like, he's like, don't take what I say as your belief. Like, you don't have to believe me. You create your reality. So don't let your thoughts get in the way. Because if I had let my thoughts get in the way, which they did quite a bit, because I thought like one day maybe I can make YouTube videos like Aaron Dowdy, who I've been following for a very long time. In fact, I actually took one of his courses, which actually appeared at the right time during my divine storm, which allowed me to start creating content. And through that course, I had a lot of resistance. And there's really good coaches in that course that allowed me to move through my fear and put it into words that I could see it and understand it and move past it. So, and what I came to realize is the less thinking I did, the more I let go of this imposter syndrome. It's like I've literally have went to like, college for spirituality, watching all the YouTube content I've watched. And I love to speak about the stuff that resonates so deeply with me, because this is the stuff I've used in my own journey. Right? And I have notes on notes on notes. I have like 6 different notebooks on different categories, they're all kind of intertwined, right? So eventually you get to the place where you get to share this light with people. And if you really think you have a purpose here to help others and you have that yearning, like, you got to do the inner work yourself. And the biggest amazing inner work you can do is letting go of resistant thoughts, because that'll stop you from doing or taking action. And as long as you can set boundaries with them and comfort yourself and know you're on your path, you're going to get there eventually, or you're going to give up due to resistant thoughts. Oh, it's not happening, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? If you think that, law of attraction's kicking in and it's working. It's giving you exactly what you're thinking and feeling. So add awareness to your thoughts. You don't need to go on some grandiose healing journey. It's like adding awareness is the healing. It already heals exactly that part. That's where the healing is complete. Choosing to keep doing the thing that's adding resistance in your life is now a choice. And that's how much power you have. So just remind yourself, what route do I want to go? Do I want to take this reality where I keep living this comfortable, familiar, previous ego life? Or do I step into the unknown and just, fuck around and find out? Fuck around and figure it out. And keep walking that path with faith over fear. Much love, Cosmic Soul. Don't think too much. You got this. Have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day. Love and light vibration out.